YouTube, the top 16 is here, and Apollo is officially banned by Konami. This is not a custom rule tournament. We are officially abiding by the in-game ban list, but applying it early, and Apollo USA is banned. Gone for good, banned in the TCG, banned in the OCG, banned in Master Duel. Back to Fortnite you go, and with that said, the meta is now saved, right? Well, Tenpai is, I guess, seemingly maybe back. I don't know what's going on with that, but let's find out. Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Habakiri is going to activate summon a Saji from the deck. Saji is going to be searching for the Mitsurugi ritual. Let's ritual it up. Of course, all our plays are just going to be on turn 2. We got our Board Breaker, Ultimate Slayer. Can we break this field? What are we breaking here? We could double disruption with the Mask Arena link off. We could pop 3 cards and or negate with the cross. That's 5 disruption. We could force them to discard. We could wipe away the entire opposing field. We could negate anything with the trap and destroy. We could also Nibiru wipe the field. We could Ash. We could Droll. We're at 11 disruption. My toes up. Sangan Summoning is trying to protect our Tenpais from being affected by anything. We're going to Chain Forbidden Droplet. Now, I guess a question is, why didn't we start with Ultimate Slayer first? Ultimate Slay, and then maybe chain Droplet to the Slayer when they tried to negate with the Purification, right? I think we're just trying to play around Purification. Droplet is going to send the Fadra to negate. On our effect to detach and pop mate, we're now going to Mask Arena, link off the Habakiri into the Dynamundo. So our 11 disruption now goes down to we -3, so we go to 8. We minus another one, we're down to 7. We're going to bounce it back, now we're at 6 disruption. Ultimate Slayer is going to get rid of the Granite, and then the Aggregator is going to negate the Cross. With the Cross negated, we're going to force us to discard in order to negate the cross. Are we discarding thrust? Oh, we're just letting it go through. Now we're thrusting. Ash is going to negate the thrust. And whatever Pydra does, the Purification negates. Okay, there you go. That's it for Tenpai. Pydra activate, negate and destroy. It's your final card. Let's hop into game number 2. Now, Tenpai does get to choose who goes first or second. They're, of course, going to choose for the opponent to go first, right? We're going second. Now, Maliss did get nerfed. Chessie went to 1, Apollo got banned, so you could be asking, why play Lancia? Well, Orcust is possibly, maybe the new best deck. And with Orcust wanting to continually banish in the graveyard, Lancia has another good deck to stop them from banishing. Let's speed this up as they're under the effect of Full Loss and Maxi. Holy draw 2. We have Red Reboot now. Red Reboot can negate the Purification. It can negate a Plasma Hole. Obviously negate Impermanence. Holy draw. Damn, Kawaki knows that I'm playing against Tenpai. I have to. What do you mean? Like, this is what we have to do or we are definitively going to lose. I have to set up multiple disruption. The goal is that they draw multiple bricks, and they are. Multiple Lancias are dead. The Full Loss is not going to be good. The Fadra, not that great. Another Pydra, we can only normal summon. Dora and Pydra are going to conflict. So as long as they're not drawing much more board breakers, then we're in a good spot. Let's keep on going. Prayers is going to be triggering the effect Engrave to search our deck. We have the Aramasa grabbing the Murakumo as we grab the Mitsurugi Ritual. Let's Ritual Tribute from the deck to summon the Murakumo from the hand here. Endlessly drawing. Oh my Jesus. Let's Reborn from the grave the Night Sword Serpent. Now, the opponent could get overwhelmed with options and then just time out. But this was a really good draw. Drawing into Thrust and a Lightning Storm, now we have a problem. The Lightning Storm, if the activation were to be negated, but they don't have an activation negate at the moment, and they don't really play activation negates, you would then be able to activate the other one. Slayer. Ultimate Slayer is not a once per turn activation. What? Multiple Slayer is multiple return back. That's great. And we have a Gordian Slicer. Target any number of face-up cards the opponent controls. and then banish 1 card from your hand or 6 cards from your extra deck face down, then return those targeted cards back per card you banish. That's gonna be great. No way. I mean, we have 11 cards in our deck, 10 cards. Maybe we could deck out. We could droll ourselves if we drew into a droll. Well, we're seemingly not playing droll. Droll has been semi-limited since the new ban list. 30 cards in our hand. No, are we actually doing it? 6 cards and they ends his turn. What the heck? Wow. We're gonna activate Lancia. We're gonna activate Fool Loss. We're under the effect of Fool Loss. Do you understand that if we are more than 6 cards plus the opponent's field, we have to randomly return cards back into our deck, and we have 30 plus cards in our freaking hand? So we're trying to dump cards from our hand into the graveyard to reduce our chance of sending back into the deck very good cards. So let's just activate everything before resolving it. 28 cards plus how many are on the field? We have 4, 5, 6, 7. So I believe we have to drop down to 14 cards. Randomly return back. Return. Maxi back. Ultimates. Oh, that was bad. Harpy Feather Duster. We kind of want. We have Heavy Storm though. That's okay. Gordian Slicer. We just lost it. What the heck? 13. Okay, we have to go down to 13. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have to be +6 their field. 6 + 7. There you go. Thrust back into our hand. Gordian Slicer. We targeted, what? 6 cards? You have to banish 6 cards from your hand. Detonator's gonna detach to pop our Murakumo. Sure. Okay. Banishing, how many cards? What the heck? Where did the field go? We banished a ton of cards from our hand, but we had a ton in our hand, so it's okay. Wipe away the back row. Triple Tactics talent. I just had an idea. What if they very simply implement the master rule, new rule, where you know what happens at the end of your first turn? If you have more than 6 cards, you have to discard until you have 6. What if that's now applied on both turns? Where now we could take maxi challenges, they still get to essentially have the perfect 6-card hand, but if they're more than 6 through giving them a ton of draws, they just have to discard during the end phase, your own end phase. Maybe that would be a good way to further balance something like Max C. That'd be perfect. What do you think? And it seems like a simple solution, right? We have the Habakiri being returned back to the deck. Pydra, let's finish off this duel. Sangan Summoning, we're going to be unaffected from any effects potentially that they may draw into. If they have impermanence, we can completely play around it, obviously. Holy draw 3. What the hell was that? Swing, 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 and then to game we go. Tenpai's a deck that doesn't care about Maxi or Fool Loss when we are within the battle phase, obviously. Now, Kawaki has to choose who goes first. If you set Red Reboot, you now can't Parelia off of the Heretic Seal play. Why set the Reboot if we want a Parelia? I think we weren't thinking. Yeah, so now this blocks our Parelia. Unfortunately, Bonfire into the Ice Ryzeal. We're going to Fool Loss. When you want to summon from the deck with the Heavenly Sphere, we'll at least get a +1. Star Ryzeal. We're pretty much in a bad spot where we have to do something because as soon as they exceed, they're going to be able to negate our Heavenly Sphere. Yep, let's do it. And then this is where you chain Parelia. But we freaking can't because our Reboot is set for no reason. Shoot. You gotta always think about that. Even if you want to end on, let's say, a Requiem. Activate Requiem, you have nothing else on the field, chain Parelia, chain Fool Loss. All right. Our Masa is going to be searching, Saji's going to be searching, we have the Murakumo, we got the Ritual. We have the Genroku from the deck here. Duo Drive is now going to, with the field spell, be able to negate anything. Let's further grab the Mirror and a Futsu. Ritual Tribute from the deck, Reborn the Night Sword, Murakumo, non-target wipe the field. So with the Genroku, we have the ability to dodge a disruption, but if it's a non-target disruption, it's not dodging anything. Whatever we summon would not trigger. On summon, it would get wiped away and would not even activate. Let's Collect me up. Yep. Dugaris, 72. Boost. Over 10,000 damage on the field. Habakiri. We're not done. We still have a monster negate on the cross. So even though I believe we are in a Nibiru meta, thanks to the new ban list, the cross is fully protecting us. At least one material left on the duo. Could also force them to discard. And wham bam, thank you ma'am, over 15,000 damage. Forcing Tenpai to go first for game 3. Well done. And this was a fair match. Tenpai got to go second for 2 out of 3 duels. We're going to start this off with the prayers in the draw phase, play around a Droll and Lockbird, which also has been semi-limited. Call by the Grave has been limited to 1, so your Ash, your Max C, it all got a nice little boost for when you're going second. The Allied Code Talker Gnister has to tribute a Link monster it's pointing to. So what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to summon a Link in a position where you then get to summon the Allied Code Ignister next to it or above it, and then as soon as you summon the Allied Code Talker Ignister, as it will immediately be pointing to a Link, you will then be able to negate a Nibiru. So you're going to have to identify, can they summon a Link 5 next to the Link they already have on the field? Oh boy, this is a field. We can force them to discard, we can wipe away the field, we can negate anything, we can link into a double disruption, we can destroy a card in the field, we can Nibiru the field. About 7 disruption we now have to play through. Can Maliss break it? Allure of Darkness, simply negate the allure. We're down to 6. Okay. You hear from YouTube, Evan, I appreciate you. We have the Futsu triggering to Reborn from the graveyard. We have the Mirror Chainlink block on the Futsu. If you wanted to Bell it or Ash it, not possible now as we grab a Prayers. And we are now back. We have the White Rabbit on summon is going to get destroyed. Now it's not negated. We're going to Call by the Grave, attempt to finger the Murakumo, but we could Prayers Reborn it back. So the Murakumo is being activated. What's it called? The Magatama. Magatama is popping, dropping us to 5 disrupt. Say goodbye to the White Rabbit. I don't believe we have a, well, here's the thing though. We can Nibiru our own Murakumo, then it will come back and wipe the opposing field. March Air is gonna force us to discard the, ooh, no, it ain't forcing nothing. I'm just gonna leave. Damn. Ain't that something? All right, let's hop into game 2. Now, I mean, Maliss losing going second. We didn't have a way to go into Apollo anyway. Did the ban list affect this duel? No. If this was pre-ban list, Maliss still would have lost. Bro ended his turn. No way. Chessie's at 1. What do you want me to do? I can't play a second or third Chessie to combo with my Bestial. Talent's dead. March Air dead. We have Fool Loss and Droll, which counter each other. So now that the Droll resolved, we can't have been Fool Loss. So hopefully they do not have lethal damage under Droll. Now, one of the ways to get extra damage when they're not under Droll is to tribute off their monster after attacking. It reborns back and then attacks again. It cannot reborn it back under Droll. It's not possible, unless you do it with Prayers. And if you do it with Prayers, it cannot attack directly. Masquerina, main phase 2, so we hopefully have another chance. We need to draw into something to make this a play. It's wild that we can't make a play with a Bestial and a March Hare. Drex. Can we say that the ban list affected your game 2? Is it fair to say that maybe the third, I don't know, maybe you're playing a third March Hare and it was a second Chessie instead, that you would have actually had a play? Maliss has become a bit less consistent now. They did lose some consistency in addition to losing the Apollo. We didn't have an opportunity to summon Apollo in game 1 or 2, but you know, we're coping here. Prayers is going to be reborning it back here. Now, smart idea on the Prayers reborning it back. If we waited for it to trigger Engrave to reborn, the Ash would have been able to negate, and now we get a full field wipe mate. Now, we already used up our normal summon. We could triple Tactics Talent for a hard cope. We coping. Nope. Draw 2. The cope is gone. Negate. Triple Tactics Talent is another good option from you losing the Droll and a Call by the Grave that you then replace them with either Triple Tactics Talent or Nibiru. Mirror, yeah, just get out of here, man. I guess, you know, Apollo being banned did not affect us losing the match, but having a Chessie in our game 2 would have been a full combo play. I think a big issue is to make Ryzeal more consistent, you got to play the 7th Tachyon or the 7th Ascension. And what does that do? It gets drolled. So I think Konami knew that forcing you into having to search for your X Ryzeal to play it more consistently, that's why they put the Droll to 2. But even with Droll at 2, if everyone's still playing Droll, there's still a good chance of you getting drolled on that play, and then it turns off your Mitsurugi plays. Is it a good idea to pair Mitsurugi with another deck that also gets hit by Droll? What do we have here? Force them to discard, wipe away the entire opposing field. We could link off into a double disruption. We could also Mitsurugi Purification, negate and destroy anything. About 5 disruption plus a maxi. Set MTP, summon White Rabbit, force them to discard. Sure, we'll discard. We have extra fluff in our hand. We'll get rid of that Lancia. We're now down to 4 forms of disruption. Negate, triple banish, field wipe. Linger Rebo can negate the purification. It's not a counter trap. Maxi. Back up Ignister, come forth and summon. But now they have a freaking impulse, so they gained another disruption, and they're now up to 5. March Hare is going to banish the White Rabbit here. White Rabbit, activate, come back onto the field. We are now going to prayers, wipe away the entire opposing field. How do we stop this? We can't. We could Ash. We could Ghost Spell. We don't have it. No Ash. No play. No Call by the Grave. Also, in a way, the Go second player not having more than 1 called by reduces the chance of you fingering their Murakumo. That was a nice little buff for Mitsurugi in a way. We do have the Mirror, which will be able to negate, but the Purification will negate the negate mate. The Lingeriba will negate the negate, but it does not matter. We're not about negating the Mirror. We're dodging the Mirror. We're dodging and negating. MTP, add from the deck the Dormouse. The field's going to get wiped. Negate Purification and banish it. As we now, we say goodbye to the Dormouse, banish. Dormouse comes forth back onto the field. That's pretty good. That's very good. And the Murakumo's going to come back, but we do have a Dormouse that is slow. Too slow to activate. So what's going to happen is we're going to want to get rid of it before it activates. We do have Masquerena. And what's a small detail here is we chain link blocked the Dormouse from them having an impulse, which they do have. So no impulse on the Dormouse. Well done. Let's, as I said, deal with the Dormouse. The problem is we could GWC, sure. But if they impulse the GWC to resummon back the Dormouse, then we lose. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Negate with the impulse. You what? Mate, you had to have drawn it. You would have said it. No way. So we lost to Maxi, of course. And with 1 less finger, we can't finger the Maxi drawing into an impulse. Dailingo has to perfectly time the Nibiru. So there could be 2 instances on when you should Nibiru them. You can Nibiru them before they're going to go into their White Binder play, because that's going to give them a bunch of resources. Once they have this in circulation and they could reborn it after being properly summoned, that's going to be a problem. Another option is to try to Nibiru as they're setting up the Allied Code Talker, especially when this is summoned, and on summon it's already pointing to a link. It will then be able to negate the Nibiru. So I would say the goal of a mouse player is to, how do I get a link plus a Link 5 alongside the Link, and then still have a follow-up play in case they Nibiru on my way of making that play. You can still chain link block the Red Ransom with from the Ash. Come to us, reborn back. No more Apollo. Can't do it. Yeah. Firewall instead of Apollo? Are you shiting me? What the heck is that? We're gonna add a wizard. So the fear is, how do you check the wizard, right? Well, if they have a Link Spider, you do not want to Nibiru. You Nibiru the field, they make a Link Spider, they could special summon the wizard, reborn from Engrave. They still have the Maliss and Underground. They have too much follow-up for us to Nibiru. Discard the Droll. One of the 2 follow-ups have been used. We did not impulse that. Now we're Nibiruing. And now it's solely dependent on, do we play Link Spider? And if you're not playing Link Spider at this point after the Apollo got banned, I don't even know what to say. It should straight up, you take out Apollo, you put in Link Spider, that's the perfect switch. If we don't have Link Spider, we scoop. Bro, don't. There we go. There we go. That's how we do it. Wizard requires a Cyberse monster that was summoned for the extra deck. Link Spider is that Cyberse monster. Impulse now negates the Wizard. I can definitively say, if we lose this duel, which looks like we're gonna lose, we lost because no Apollo. Yup, no Apollo. The Firewall should have been an Apollo. He would have to have Nibiru'd early, and then we would have not had our extender plays, then get Nibiru'd afterward. This definitively was an Apollo situation. Great, great news. Let's go. GWC is gonna be no good. No good, no bueno. Well, actually, we can still set up, we could reborn the Red Ransom, and I mean, then what? We're not banishing the Red Ransom. We're gonna White Rabbit, set up an MTP. We can't non-target banish here. We're in big trouble. Maliss stocks are way down. Pure Mitsurugi may be better than the deck now. That's crazy. I'm so happy they freaking banned Apollo. You know what else Apollo did? Apollo protected your MTP from being negated by Ashe on your opponent's turn. It not only protected your own plays on your own turn, but it also stopped this from happening. This is massive. There should be an Apollo to negate. Insane, mate. And of course the MTP would be attempting to banish here, not just searching the deck. Everything has changed. Maliss down, Nibiru up. We won this duel a big part because of Nibiru. Now the impulse definitely did help. Having a wizard plus the Link Spider is crazy. 2-0'd. Maliss is 0-4. Damn. And I think a good argument could be made, not even an argument, I think it's a straight up fact. Maliss is hit harder in Master Duel than the OCG. Because we just saw in the OCG, top 2 of a 5,000 player YCS that just happened was Maliss and Maliss. And if we were to check this out, what are we looking at here? What are the hits? Chessie to 1, Dormouse to 1, Underground to 1, Apollo banned. Am I missing anything? Gold Sark to 1. So that's 1 ban and 4 limit to 1s. Let's go to the OCG. What does it look like over there? Dormouse to 1, Sark to 1, Apollo banned. Is that it? I guess Allura Darkness is limited to 1. Do we even really want to count that? They also have a terraforming, so they have 3 field spells and they have 4 field spells with the terraforming. Yeah, in Master Duel, the deck is quite heavily hit. Now in the TCG, they don't have Link Decoder. They don't have Splash Mage. Splash Mage got banned. Holy shit. They also don't have Apollo in addition to that. Interesting. Let's keep on going. The new sport card for Dragoonity. Yeah, we gotta be reviewing some cards. I think so. Magnum Hut searching, Centurion. The opponent does have Hovness. They activate a monster on the field. We could have right then and there. Special summon in mill 3. Why did we not do it? We don't want a Hovness? Well, he's got a Bestial. Okay. We know he's got a Bestial in the hand. We know he's going to banish our in-grave Tearlament that triggers. So, we're in a pickle. We're going to want to start off with Senjin, possibly. Super Poly should hopefully stop the field spell from syncering on our own turn into Blazar Dragon. Blazar Dragon is a light. The Centurion is a dark. Let's further go into the Hieratic Seal. Special summon the Gargoyle 2. Reborn Lubellion. Damn, Centurion is cooking. Let's reborn back the Auxilla. As we have that, let's now put the Primera. So what are our disruptions here? We have a decent amount, actually. We have Druiswarm Banished from the Grave, which is definitely a disruption against Tearlament. We could return a face-up card back to the hand. We could synchro with the field spell with the Primera. We could Phalanx banish a monster card on the field. That's about 4 disruption. And maybe the Hieratic Seal could go into a Baldrake to banish another monster summon for the extra deck. So I'll say about 5 disruption. Let's see. Senjin, a really good board breaker here. Monster card, not monster. It is different. A monster would not be banished here. A monster card, because it was a spell. We're going to Brilliant Fusion. So the spell was a monster card. Now, what does this do on the field? If this card's sent to the graveyard, you could return all set spell and traps on the field to the hand. That's not going to be good, obviously. Now, we're going to want to Bestial banish the Sharon. Straight up. That's exactly what we're doing. Sharon is semi-limited. Hobness, I think, is limited to 1. Yeah. So Sharon is the ideal banish here for the Tearlament player. Now, the Hobness is sent to the grave by card effect, thanks to the Neprum, not by cost, thus it will be triggering. We have the Regained, recycling back our Sharon into the deck that is. I appreciate that. We have Super Poly or just normal summon to get the Snow and Grave. Let's fuse up with the Hand Fielder Grave to go into the Kit Kalos. Kit Kal is here. Now, we can consider the Durastorm as an additional disruption if we use it for the Synchro, but I mean, we don't even have room. What the heck? Got too many bodies on the field. We can't even summon Primera into a play. But we tribute off the Durastorm. Durastorm now sends the Neprum. Now we summon Primera. Now we're going to go into the Blazar Dragon. Blazar Dragon's going to be our main play. Now, the problem is Blazar Dragon and Hieratic Seal are both light. Well, how about I don't even let you summon Blazar Dragon, I just synchro with them right now. Or fuse that up, I mean. Discard the Snow, fuse with their only tuner on the field, thus the field spell is going to resolve with no effect. And the Hieratic Seal spent, didn't tribute itself to summon a Baldrake, and now it's 0 disruption. What can we do? Foolish Burial Goods and a Celic, search our deck for the Sharon. Sharon, discard a card from the hand, special summon, mill 3, triggering the effect of the Trick Clown to Reborn from the grave. Scream, searching our deck for a trap. Now, Sharon has already triggered to Fusion Summon. It did get banished by Bestial. Otherwise, you would Time Thief Redoer, detach it by effect to then fuse. We're going to detach 2, draw 2, discard a card, get rid of the Meta Noise. Meta Noise is going to be adding back the Tear Cache from Engrave. Tear Cache is going to be banishing a card from hand or field to summon a mill 3. With the additional mill 3, let's further go into Fiendsmith. Now, we did not Hobness effect yet, have we? Hobness, what we did actually. We went through both. That's it. Our ceiling is 2 fusion summons. We went through all 2. There's no Merly. Let's Reborn back the Engraver. With the Requiem onto the Engraver, we could send a monster on the field to the graveyard, say goodbye to the Auxilla. Now, Auxilla is rebornable back with the Phalanx, but not the turn a Phalanx was activated. We're now going to Serenir, banish away the Requiem here as we're activating a Fusion Summon with the Grave. Let's still perform the Fusion Summon into the Lacrima. Lacrima is going to be targeting the banished Requiem. Now, Requiem has the effect of it's only special summonable once per turn. So even if we want to target it to Reborn, not possible. Let's Verte Anaconda. Snow is going to be banishing 7 cards in the graveyard to Reborn, then flip them also on the field face down. Anaconda for the rest of the turn. We're not going to be able to special summon if we were to activate the effect to perform a Fusion Summon, but instead we're going into a Curious. What? We timed out. So for Curious, this is quite interesting. The Anaconda's dark, you turn the Snow into a dark, and then you turn the Mood Dragon into a dark, and with 3 darks, we could only then summon the Curious because they all 3 have to be the same attribute, and with the effect of send from the deck, whatever card we want. So as we are looking through our deck, we ran out of time. And then we would have additionally milled 3. I don't know if we're playing horse cards in this deck or what. Damn. To be fair, we had a pretty complicated turn, I think so. Brilliant Fusion. We're going to be triggering the Hobness with the body in the field, thus the Durastorm is going to banish. Our limited to what? Did not banish. Okay. You don't want to stop my Fusion Summon. Now, Imperm is really good on Kit Kalos. Straight up. Imperm, negate. Got you, mate. Now, we could goods into a Sulic. Sulic could grab the Rhino. Rhino could send the Sharon. And then you could Druid Swarm whatever we send, which will be the Sharon. Isn't this limited to 1? Yeah, how do we send this if it's in the hand to search for the Rhino? What the? Ghost meets girl. You'll copy this with the effects of the rollback, which we don't have a rollback. You know, whatever. Solik with the kick cal still pretty good. It's going to randomly mill 5 and negate a monster here. Okay. We also have Droplet. So we potentially have maybe about 3 disruptions here. Now, randomly milling 5 means randomly getting a rollback to use the effect of neither player could special summon from the hand, the deck, or extra deck. So where can you summon? You could summon from the banish and the grave only. That may be happening. We have Baldrake. Just Gamba. We are going to be gambling. Primera. We may do the Solic. Zit. This is it. We're going to send Kick Cal, negate, and the random mill 5 can completely turn off their turn. Or maybe even fusion summon. We're at least fusion summoning. Thinking we are, because they do have Baldrake. Baldrake is going to banish the Sharon, unfortunately, and we did not get a rollback in the grave. Shadow Beast can draw into a rollback, which we could send to the grave with the Droplet. We could still turn off their turn. It's 1 out of 41 cards. Rhino. Okay, that didn't work out. They have Baron to floor now. Baron to floor, pop the Droplet. Droplet's going to send the Brilliant Fusion. That's a nice little benefit of Brilliant Fusion still being on the field there. Extra fuel for your Droplet. Negate. As we're now going to follow up with the Emblem of Oath. We're at 0 disruption now. We don't have a Fairy Tale Snow in the grave. No extra shenanigans. We are spent. Now we're in a pretty good spot with the Rhino and Solic for next turn. A try randomly drawn to a max freaking C. Ain't no way. Let's clean up the field so the Pilgrim does not activate again. Lacrima is going to be reborning the Requiem. I don't think we're going to play Fiendsmith in Paradise in this deck. I mean, we would randomly mill it, right? It actually seems like a good idea to have it, but we're not. We have the Engraver Engrave. We have the follow-up with Engraver. We have a play with the Rhino. We have a negate with the Solic. We now have a play with the Senjin. Whew. I'm on the side of Tier here if it weren't for that max C. This messes things up. Otherwise, I think we definitively would have won on this turn, but we have to now take the Maxi challenge. Are we going to? Let's find out. Sequence onto the Crimson. Let's send our 2 back row to summon the Doom Dragon. Doom Dragon is going to target the Atreida, push into the back row. We're going to Baron to floor, negate, because we still have the Trudea plus Field Spell play to go into a Synchro. We're going to Rhino. In response to the Rhino, let's summon Trudea, then trigger the Field Spell to go into our play. What are we going into here? We're going to send the Sharon. We're going to trigger the Field Spell. Now, has the Baron to floor negated? Yes, it did. So the negate, obviously that was on the Doom Dragon. This is our final form of disruption. As we go into the Legatia, which will non-target destroy the highest attack monster on the opposing field, which will be the Rukalos. But Rukal comes back. When this is sent to the graveyard by Legatia, simply special summon it back. We do get to draw another card. We do draw into a Nibiru. We could also just use Solic to negate. Instead of allowing you to destroy and draw, I'll just send it. All we're doing is stopping a draw. Same thing would happen, it comes back on the field. We can negate Nibiru. When Nibiru tries to summon, Rukal could get rid of the Rhino Heart to negate. The Golem is going to put itself in the back row. Golem come forth in special, grabbing the Wedju Temple here. Let's Xyz into Dugaris. Dugaris, activate. Draw 2, discard a card. Ash, negate. Newly drawn off of the Max C mate. On the summon of Dugaris, we got the card to stop Dugaris. We're not done. We've only just begun. Engraver is going to attempt to reborn. Serenir, banish it here. We are not negating Nibiru. We are using Rukal on the Serenir. On the resolution of Engraver being summoned, we could just Nibiru the field. But Rukal comes back. No, it does not. Uh-oh. I suspected it, and I think it's true. We are in a Nibiru meta. Nibiru meta is here. So like trigger to search our deck, we already used up our normal summon. A Sharon would not be activatable due to having no other monster in the hand. Tier Cash. That's it. As we said, Nibiru on the resolution. Wipe the field. How big is this token? Holy moly, 17,000 attack. Banished to mill 3 with the Tier Cash here. We did get a Fairy Tale Snow and the Scream search in our deck for a trap. It would not be activatable unless we have a trap in the deck. Come forth and summon. Now, what could we do off of this? We could link climb with the snow. Link it off, reborn, link it off, reborn. What is that going to accomplish? Let's flip down the Nibiru and let's get climbing into an Anaconda. I don't think we actually play a fusion spell to send to the graveyard. This is just to make a Curious. Let's reborn back the Fairy Tale Snow. We can't make Curious with this. We have a light, light, and dark. Could turn one of them into a dark. And Meta Noise is nothing. Meta Noise would be flipping a monster and triggering a fusion. We can only use it if we control a tier. Snow is on the field here. What the heck happened? Well, I guess we tried to set up for a Curious and we couldn't do it. 3 of the same attribute. Oh boy, wouldn't Moon with Snow and Anaconda be our play just to get it engrave? Maybe we were running out of time? Yeah, I think we had to do that. I think we had to moon it into the grave. Wow, Legacia taking out the giant token. Crimson Dragon is here. We have nothing activatable. Nothing. We can't flip up Meta Noise, can't do anything engrave. Well, actually, we have Crimson. Crimson Tier could reborn a card here, but it does nothing. Lethal damage 2-0. Evil Plu for game. Maxi definitely helped. Big time. Let's go. It's a 60 card deck, so the chances of it being Spright have just shot up. Hit him with the Fua and the Max freaking Sia. Uh-oh. Draw 2 on the special summon. What do? Well, we're gonna have to freaking pass. And if we pass, we have a Fua loss, a Maxi, and Impermanence. Ooh, look at that. Very nice draw 2. Grab the Ritual, then pass. Yup, make use out of the Fua loss. You hit me with the Fua and Maxi, now it's time to do the same to you. Let's go. Golem is here. This will be just 1 draw for the Maxi. Of course, we commit to this play if we're only under Fua loss. And with only 1 called by, we have Ghost Spell to help stop it. Let's set up into the back our 2 bodies. Millennium Engine is here. Senjin, come to us. Nimble Beaver, further confirming that this is a Spright deck. 9450 damage, just like that. It's 7750 with just the Millennium Engine, and then any normal summon. Normal summon a Max C for game. Well done. Damn. Millennium, I mean, one of the benefits, like if you're looking at the bullet points of why play Millennium, one of them are take Max C challenge or Fua Loss challenge on an open field. It doesn't even have to be an open field. There could be a body on the field. The Doom Dragon will push the body back, and then you got 7750 without a normal summon. Now, we got our Spright Carrot, and the opponent's not going to hit us with a Maxi and Fua Loss. Thus, we're just dealing with a Ghost Spell. When do we want to get Bellin? Ritual, send from the deck into the Habakiri. Let's trigger in oh, scoop it. I'm out of here. I don't care. You're a 60 card deck. I don't even know that you're playing Spright yet, which we would have found out possibly had we just let them continue to play. We have a double banish with a Massacre Arena. We can take control of a monster. We can crescendo negate anything. We can negate 2 special summons. We could finger with the Call by the Grave. We could ding Gursu, send a card from the field to the grave. This is about 8 to possibly 9 disruption if we could also set up a World Crown on the field. Let's see. But carry summon from the deck, and the Wave King Caesar does not negate because we got the Call by the Grave mate. We're gonna finger you. Drop it now down to 7 disruption. Okay. And little Gursu, graveyard effect too. Yeah, I guess I should, we'll add back up. We're at 8. So maybe we're about 9 to 10 disruption, so I'll say we're at 8 disruption now. Take the Lurie. Your Lurie is mine. Yoink. As we now have Swap Frog. Swap Frog send the Ronin Toad in. Galatea is going to be reborning here. We're going to use the Masquerena, get the Enlil Gursu, so we do have the effect of sending from the field to the graveyard whenever we want. We're going to banish away the Swap Frog, now down to 6. Damn. We had so much more. Actually freaking insane. Unbelievable. And I mean, that's it. That's it. Game 3. Let's keep on going. Coping on Cynet mining after losing our Chessies. We do have Nibiru. We have Droll. Now, what can they do to stop Nibiru? Obviously, they can wave King Caesar. So if we wave King Caesar this up, we also can't add from the deck for the rest of this duel, but this turn that is. Orcust and Fiendsmith both play well under Droll. Droll's not really an issue. We're going to just continue with our full plays. Now, the Galatea Link 1 cannot search our deck, but we could still Foolish Burial, send a Harpour from the deck to the grave, and then pop off from there. Sequence. And this is going to be the Nibiru check. Get ready to check Nibiru. Let's reborn it here. And now Nibiru is being checked. And what's very important with checking for Nibiru is we have a follow-up play. You check Nibiru plus have a follow-up, your deck officially does well against Nibiru. Have to do it, and then we're going to play right through it. Now back to you. So what do we have here? What's really good about Droplet is the same thing about Masquerena. Inherently, Orcust does not have a good way to get their Enlil Gursu into the graveyard, and they want it in the grave because it has the secondary effect of whenever you want with the field spell to send a card on the field to the grave. So we could take control of a monster, we could Droplet negate, and then we could send a card from the field to the graveyard. We could also Ding Gursu, reborn, send a card from the field to the grave. We could also get World's Crown, negate the effect of an extra deck monster, and destroy. We got some great plays. About 5 disruption. Impulse is going to negate the Galatea ability of setting up the World's Crown. So now we only have 4 disruption. Normal the backup Ignister into the Dormouse. Discard that Dormouse. Let's further link this up into Lingaribo, thinking we could stop an impermanence here. Gold Sark, banish from the deck, as it's going to be a Mirror. Mirror's going to banish the engraved Dormouse. Dormouse is now going to be on the field as we have a March Hare in hand. With the Dormouse on field, we may want to do something to it. Ding it or take control of it. I think we're going to be taking control. Just like that, we're going to add back the Banish Harpour and permanently yoink the Dormouse. Your Dormouse is mine. And now I could further use it for fuel of my Droplet. We got the symbol. We still have Ding. We could still send a card from the field to the grave. We have Wizard being added. Now, how is Wizard special summonable? He knows. Wizard is special summonable as long as we have Lingaribo on the field. Well, Timeless, knowing that, is going to, right now, reborn Ding Gursu. Ding Gursu is going to send the Lingaribo, and then Wizard is stuck in hand. Wizard summons itself plus a body and grave. It could fully make plays from there, but obviously, we had the way to stop it. Well done. Now we have to be mindful of, we only have 1 chassis. We have no Apollo. No Apollo in sight. Now, I do want to pause this real quick to outline Transcode Talker has a heavy restriction. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this effect. That means that even before Transcode Talker, you cannot use Transcode Talker's effect. It is a super heavy restriction. It's not the rest of the turn, it's the turn. You're locked in a Cyberse only. If you made a Little Knight before, you then can't Transcode Talker, and then obviously you can't Little Knight afterward. Let's further go into the Topologic Bomber Dragon. This is activatable more than once per turn. Every time a monster is special summoned to where it's pointing to, it's going to activate to wipe the field. Now, did we do that on purpose? I don't think we did that. Oopsie. So the thought of how this card works is if you summon to where this is pointing to, it wipes the field. That's true, but it's also not true. That's not how it works. It's if a monster is summoned to where a monster is pointing with their link, it activates. So what happened is we summoned to where Red Ransom is pointing to. Because Red Ransom was pointing there, it triggered the Topologic from all the way over there. The Topologic over here wiped away the entire freaking field. Summon to a zone a link monster points to. Wipe it. Wow. So even with that, we still have the setup. We could non-target banish. We could wipe the field. We still got plays. Topologic saw that. Yeah, even though you were all the way over here, I knew what you were doing, mate. Let's Lurie Reborn. This, so with the GW, if we want to Reborn, it will then wipe. We have also MTP on there. MTP could grab a March Hare. March Hare could trigger the Topologic again. Whatever we banish could trigger the Topologic again, but it's probably just going to be 2 field wipes plus an MTP and the called by. Let's GWC. To where the Topologic is pointing to. Let's go. Wipe the field plus banish from either player's graveyard. Banishing our own Red Ransom, banishing our March Hare, and then whenever we want, we could trigger the Topologic with the March Hare. And then we're ready with the MTP to non-target banish a card in the field whenever we want. Topologic is a really good out to a Chaos Hunter. They summon a Chaos Hunter against you, just Topologic it up. Now, we have no safe area now. Anywhere we summon will trigger the Topologic, which means Chessie's gonna wipe the field. Whoops. Okay, I guess this is unavoidable, huh? Maybe Topologic's eyes are closed. He won't see this, right? He sees it. Wipe it. Whoops. All right. Not sure if we wanted to do that. Yeah, I don't think so. So we would just not activate Chessie, right? Just leave it banish or not banish it. Well, we have the March Hare, trigger the Topologic Bomber here, and we will still... We can't MTP. How do we MTP? This is gonna summon then die immediately. It's dead. Our own Topologic Bomber is turning off our MTP. Wipe the field. We can't non-target banish. There's no play to do so. That was our non-target banish. We wanted to banish that. Now we could finger it. We're going to activate. We have to preempt the finger though. If we don't finger preemptively, they could just banish beforehand. So there you go. Preempt the finger, banish the Harpoorer, and we should now be at 0 disruption. There's nothing we could do. We could not MTP because of the Chessie mishap. The Chessie being summoned turned off our MTP, accidentally wiping our field. That was definitely a mistake. And somehow, through a finger and 2 field wipes, they're still going. They're not stopping. Nothing is slowing them down. They are still wham bam thank you ma'am their way to the win. Galatea Link 2, return back the Harpoorer in the deck, set up a Crescendo, further go into the Dingirsu. I think the question is, I'd have to look back. Could we have still played through the MTP if we didn't Chessie wipe away our own field? Because, I mean, Orcust is looking disgustingly good right now. Oh my Jesus. Was unbanning Mermaid a mistake? Because if you're immediately thinking, well, I don't remember this doing well in TCG and OCG, well, only we have Mermaid. I think the chances of unbanning Mermaid in the other formats have gone way down. MTP searching within the end phase for our March Hare. Now, we could negate anything and banish with the Crescendo. We don't have the Babble, so we're not going to be able to quick effect take, and we're not going to be able to quick effect send a card from the field to the graveyard. So we are heavily restricted on what we can actually do here. Crescendo, negate, and banish the March Hare. March Hare will go back to the hand. But then with March Hare going back to the hand, what's that going to accomplish? It's just going to go back to the hand and has no other effect. I didn't know we had another banished card. You got to remember with March Hare, her effect is not to add back March Hare, it's to add back any banished Maliss. And the Dormouse was just chilling there banished. Damn, that was good. Limited to one Dormouse, sitting in the banishment to be added back. Lingaribo is now here. No babble, nothing. We can't quick effect the Enlil to take. We can't quick effect send. We can't quick effect Reborn Dingirsu to send. So after I was glazing Orcust for being this good, it looks like they're now going to lose. What the heck? All right, Ransom, come back onto the field here. Banish from the... What? Now you win. Well, no. What do you mean you time out? He panicked. He like panic banished the backup and then clicking the backup, he had to like, I don't know, like spam. If we had a live webcam of what his face was going through during this, that would have been wild. Damn. All right. We did lose the timeout. Unfortunately, a duel that I believe we straight up won this. Senjin, we do have Ash. We also have Tier Cash. But are we willing to banish a Sharon for a random mill 3? Sharon is semi-limited. If it were a Hovness, then, you know, we would just use Hovness instead. So it's going to be interesting to see what we end up doing, which this is a potential 2 disruption, but pretty much just 1. Now we got to deal with Photon Lord. Photon Lord will negate Ash, but maybe we want him to negate the Tier Cash instead. So if we activate this and he negates it, you know, we may just do nothing. Let's speed this up. Let's turn back. So this is another anti-Nibiru. If you want to stop Nibiru, play Millennium. If you want to stop Nibiru, play Fiendsmith. 2 different ways. You don't need Apollo. You have Photon Lord, you have Wave King Caesar. Double Nibiru negate. Now the Wave King Caesar could negate the Tier Cash, its own summon, but then it would trigger Engrave to mill 2. Let's go. Now, Little Knight doesn't stop Nibiru, but it does give you some Nibiru resilience if you want to chain banish a good card alongside it to dodge the Nibiru. Under the effect of Max C, which we can finger, they do have Little Knight banish, double special summon negate, and a monster negate. Now, this monster negate does not destroy. This double special summon negate does destroy. Sharon? Which is perfect. I don't want to destroy you. I want you to stay in the hand. You would trigger Engrave. So a simple monster negate, keep it in hand mate. Triple disruption left. Fiendsmith tracked, adding Lacrima, not a Lurie, triggering Sharon, which we can negate with the Caesar. Caesar, negate. Now, we may want to banish the Sharon with Tier Cash to mill 3. That's exactly what we're going to do. Getting hit with the Maxi, we could Ash or finger it. Ash is going to negate. We're left with a Little Knight banish and a Wave King Caesar special summon negate. Can we play through double disruption? Mill 3, could at least battle over the Little Knight. No, you can't because I'm going to banish you. So now we have just Wave King Caesar. What we ideally want here is we want to be able to trigger a fusion and then chain link block it with another effect. So it could be a Hovness and then a Scream on the higher chain link, and then your fusion goes through. But we don't have an Aqua to fuse with, so a single Tearlament wouldn't even be good. Well, we just milled Scream and nothing else. Whoops. Crimson Tear, send Engraver here. Let's link this off into the Requiem. Engraver is going to be reborning itself onto the field. Requiem is going to be jumping to summon from the deck. Wave King Caesar is going to negate. Because we know that the Lacrima is going to equip the Requiem and then just kill off the Wave King Caesar. And you know what you should play if Wave King Caesar becomes more prevalent? Millennium. Wave King Caesar can't stop the Millenniums from summoning from the back row. It can't stop the Doom Dragon from summoning and pushing it into the back row. You have full Millennium play through the double special summon negate. Nothing they could do, mate. We do have Meta Noise, which could flip a monster down and trigger a fusion, and we have Droll, and we have a Call by the Grave. We have Quadra Disruption. In response to the regained, before it resolves, we're going to banish possibly a Light or Dark, and it's not going to return it back. They're not going to draw. Makes sense. Get rid of the Engraver, no draw for you. Now we're down to 3 disruption left. To battle we go. Before we lose our tier cash, we're going to attempt to flip you down. Ruling time. I really want to trigger a fusion. If the monster's not there to flip face down, do I still get to fuse? Do I still send from the deck? Let's read how the card works. I don't know, I have to read it. Change it to face down defense, then send a tier, so it is sequential and it is dependent on flipping the monster face down. Then nothing happens if you don't flip face down. Little Knight perfectly dodging and playing around the meta noise. No fusion play for you. Goodbye. This is why it's good to understand the rulings instead of memorizing how things work. If you memorized how meta noise works and you didn't understand the ruling, then you're going to come across a similar card and not understand the ruling applied to how it worked with that card to then know what to do with your Little Knight. Come back. We do have Little Knights as our only disruption. We don't have a Baldrake Engraved to Reborn with the Regained. Fenrir is here. On the attack, we don't want to activate because Little Knight will just banish the Fenrir. Is this Moon into Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am? They now have nothing. All they had was Little Knight. Let's freaking... Whoa, no Requiem. Requiem is banished, right? Uh-oh. We only one Requiem. I think I've seen some tier players play more than one Requiem, as we're now going to get clapped up here. Let's see. Is there anyone playing more than one? No. 93% at one. Damn. So a pretty good duel, I think so. That was a good one. What do we have here? Engraver, Fiendsmith gets countered by Droll. But wait, you kept on saying that Droll is not countering Fiendsmith. It's under this exact scenario where if you have just Engraver and not a way to go into Moon in the Closed Heaven, if you search for Attract, then you lose to Droll on that. So that is the one instance where you get clapped. You counter Droll if you're able to make a Requiem. So that's what you have to identify. And then Brilliant Fusion will send from the deck to the grave our fusion play for Tearlament. Ash will negate. So we are super screwed, mate, by these two cards. We don't even have to use the impermanence. Rip. But if they Ash, you could then maybe hit them with the Max E, because they're not going to have Ash for the Max E, right? Wait, well, hold up. What? Why did we not Ash this? Send from the deck to Ash? I guess we want to imperm the Kick Kalos instead? I don't understand. Why would you not Ash Brilliant Fusion? Not ashing Brilliant Fusion, because now they could go into Requiem and then you have to Ash the Requiem, which I guess you still stop them, but, you know, what the heck? We could even Tribute Summon to then go into Requiem, can keep Kick Cal on the field if we wanted to. Am I wrong in that being a good play? Tribute for, send the Amethyst for Engraver, Requiem, Summon, maybe even like a Wave King Caesar off of all this, right? There's no reason why you couldn't have done all that. Well, anyway, we have Meta Noise. Now, the Meta Noise and Max C are competing for the Ash because part of the Meta Noise is sending a card from the deck to the grave, which also stops the Book of Moon effect. This is double disruption in one, which the Ash could stop, and as you know, we said, Max C will also be wanting the Ash. The issue is we don't know it's a Meta Noise. It wasn't searched for. It's not public knowledge, so we don't know when they Max C us that we maybe would want to save it for the Meta Noise instead. This is a very interesting situation. I thought this is a cut and dry duel where we just Ash this and then they pass. All right. Now we have Meta Noise. This is good. We're going to flip down and fuse. Send the Magnum Hut for the Lubellion. As we're now going to Meta Noise, flip it down before it sets up Regained. Send the Sharon trigger. Let's freaking do it from here. We now have our Rukalos. Rukalos will negate the effect of Special Summon. We can't stop the Typhon. What the? Plan L. First, we're going to take out the Wait, why didn't you get destroyed by battle? What? Wait, why? Why can't you be destroyed? Must be sent. Is this like indestructible by battle? Rukalos has a secret effect. What the? Other Aquas can't be destroyed by battle. Whoops. This is now a link material. Uh-oh. Holy moly. We have Baldrake to banish from the graveyard. I wanted him to keep it on the field. I knew it couldn't be destroyed by battle because with it being stuck on the field, I could only now use Baldrake to banish the Lurie with the track that I know they have in their hand because I drolled them. So this was all by design. I only now can Baldrake it because I kept this up. No, that wasn't the play, obviously. We didn't Baldrake. All right, never mind. I don't know. A-okay, I tried to make you look really good here. Okay. Let's further, yeah, that just, it wasn't a good idea. We didn't know about the Root Callous. Okay, let's banish the Requiem. Banish. As our fusion still goes through into the Fiendsmith Lacrima. Lacrima will target the banished Requiem. We're gonna be banishing away the Lacrima on field. Be gone. As we either add back or summon it back onto the field. Let's turn this into a Link 3 Egnumde. Earlier I said I wasn't sure about Tearlament having room for an Egnumde. Well, clearly he does. Reborn back the Engraver from Engrave. A Bow is here. A Bow is top tier. Discard a card to pop a card or Reborn from Engrave. We're gonna Reborn the Egnumde. The Bow will come back during the end phase. Let's target the Engraver and let's boost it up to 3,600. Yeah. Take out the Baldrake. Come back. We could still non-target, pop a card in the field, or we could Reborn a Light and Dark Engrave. There's nothing worthy of reborning, so we're just gonna non-target pop. Get a Bow in. What do we want to Abow? Now, the Abow dies to Typhon if we just go to battle phase. We're gonna do it right now. We're gonna Reborn. I'm not popping. I'm Reborning. Reborn the Engraver that you're trying to banish with Druistorm. We're also stopping you from summoning a Druistorm. But then it still got summoned. Oh my gosh. Tribute summon over Typhon, trigger the Druistorm, send the boosted Engraver, still summon Lubellion, set up the Regained, activate our own Engraver. Well, this went horribly wrong. Yep, let's get out of here. Damn, 2-0. And I mean, what do you expect? I'm Tearlament. You're a Bestial deck. Bestial counters Tearlament. What the heck? Did someone get tipped off that a bunch of people would be playing Tear today and that's why you brought your Bestial deck? We had Bestial Centurion, Bestial Control. Let's keep on going. Melodious. The word banish. What is banishing? Ash, we're gonna use Valor. Valor to attempt, ooh, we got some plays, mate. What the heck are we doing? We're gonna discard the Herald of the Arclight for the effect of the Murakumo, and we're gonna use the Valor onto the Nightmare Mermaid so we cannot summon a Nightmare from the deck. That is a big play. Very well done. We still have impermanence. Now, banish. You know, on their own turn, if they want to Itoli, I guess the Lancia stops that. If the Shiberta is going to get stopped, but it's not actually stopping a core play to make your plays with. We're going to imperm negate the Crimson Tear. So I would say the impact of Lancia against Melodious is not good. It's not going to be that beneficial. Let's first movement solo special summon a monster as long as we control no monsters. We have the Refrain searching for the Couplet. Couplet into the back row as we now search for Concerto. Otherwise, we have Concerto already in the hand. Because Concerto's performing a fusion summon, we want the Baldrake to be on the field before the fusion summon happens so we can banish it on summon. Botcha on summon is going to be activating to special summon a Melodious from the deck, and then we do have the option to banish the Botcha because the Botcha wants to then be sent to the grave to reborn a Melodious. If we banish it before it's sent to the grave, then perfect play. We're now going to use Lacrima to reborn the Requiem. I don't know if we're playing the Fiendsmith in Paradise to turn this into a form of disruption. Maybe not. We'll find out soon. From the deck, we have Shapina. Shapina can target Engrave to add a fairy back to the hand. Let's take out the Requiem. Did not try to summon from the deck. Normal summon Orange Light, then scoop. Botcha. Get him botcha'd. Clapped us big time. Damn. Maxi in response. Cross out designate. Negate. Now, if you weren't playing Crossout, you obviously want to put it in for your second called by. Banish from the deck, as we now fusion summon, sending from the deck to go into a Bacha. Bacha is going to activate to summon from the deck into Shapina. This is the big choke point of what you'd want to stop, but even though it's a huge choke point, if you save dash for this, you're screwed because they're going to chain link block it with the Bacha. If you had Imperm or Veiler, this is big. Concerto's going to draw a card, Bacha's going to reborn, and the Bloom's going to summon 2 bodies from the deck. 2 Melodious with different levels. Don't summon it to where it's pointing to. It would be blocking the summon from the deck, so well done. That's just one way to screw up. Add the Soprano engraved back. Special summon the Soprano onto the field here. Add back the Sonata. Soprano's going to activate the fusion summon into the Itoli. And just like that, this has just impossible to break board presence. We have monsters you control cannot be targeted by card effects, cannot be destroyed by battle. They're also getting boosted up. Monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, can't be destroyed by battle. We can non-target return multiple cards the opponent controls back to the hand. We can banish cards from the grave. This is GG. It's like a first turn kill. We have impermanence, unbreakable fields, imperm, negate the Sajin. We don't have to do anything. We just chill. Just can't target, can't destroy. What's the play? Nightmare Phoenix is the way. Discard the Orcust Nightmare. We're going to Shiberta, banish 3 cards in their graveyard. And while this is once while face up, the Atoli will continually banish the Shiberta to then make it come back. And that's exactly what we're doing. Banish Shiberta, come back in the end phase, and then we have an unbreakable field after banishing from their grave. Just scoop it up. His first turn kill with Melodious, I'd say. Got first movement with Veiler and an activatable Orange Light. Orange Light is negate and destroy. This is similar to a Gamma. When is the ideal use of the Orange Light destroy? Okay. We weren't able to end Lil. Good, great, perfect, mate. So with, Asanato and the first movement, they both want you to have no monster in the field. So by using the Lacrima early, we're gonna have another body to use with the Masquerena. And let's talk about our disruption now. Ash, Omni Negate, Double Banish Mate, Dingursu, Reborn and Send, and we could also get the World's Crown, which could negate an extra deck. So only 6 forms of disruption through 2 plays. Let's see it. Thank you. I wanted you to do that because I can't use Asanato, the better card, if I have a monster on the field. There we go. Okay. Crescendo, negate and banish. And with multitudes more forms of disruption left going unused. Super hammy trolling now. All right. 2-1. Orcust. Is Orcust the new best deck? Thank you, YouTube, for watching the top 16. We'll now be advancing to the top 8, where we are going to be playing with Centurion against Mitsurugi. Let's go.